Oh, what's up to our sidekicks and henchfolk out there in the Geek Nation? Were you actually flexing?
No, he was flexing his
Oh,
mind.
I see you were doing...
He was flexing his brain.
Nose. I was about to get a nosebleed from trying to use my mental powers.
Do you ever do this?
No.
Never.
See, that just makes your arms like bigger because you're taking the fat, right?
Actually,
and you're just
Do
lifting.
you go to the store like that?
Yeah, I just...
Do you ever smell them?
Anyway, what's up to our sidekicks and henchfolk out there in the Geek Nation? You're currently tuning into the action-packed CultPop podcast, episode 71, legacy numbering.
It says 872.
A show where we talk about movies, but also TV, but also comics, but also shaky cam action flicks and all the other things that scratch your nerdy, dirty little itches. We're coming to you live from Manayunk
Young Chunk.
HQ. Not yet.
Manayunk.
We're coming to you live from Young Chunk.
If you just flex, everything will be fine.
Young Chunk HQ.
Young Chunk.
Bomb-ass production space in Philadelphia, PA. I'm your spiritual leader, up to no good, JD of Johnny Destructo's Hero Complex, located at 4327 Main Street, Philadelphia, PA. It's a comic shop. Come buy my shit. With me tonight to talk is Brian.
Hey, was that come buy my shit like BY? Like come buy my shit? Or BUY? Like purchase?
Is it
both?
Is it
Cool.
your shit? Like I know you purchased it for the shop, but it's not like it's other people's
I'll
shit.
tell you.
It's
that
the
you
shop's
have,
shit.
Like you are the
come buy my shop shit.
Like it's transactional. So like it's
There are
own
so
it,
many
but
things
only in
in
so
that
many ways.
store
Yeah.
that I
that's true.
buy, and then I think, well, if nobody buys this,
Yes.
mine.
I guess I'll just have to keep it. Mm-hmm. There's a
would
lot
have
of
to.
stuff in the shop that's like that.
But I think that is a valid point, and I am jealous of that. But also, no, were you getting at more like the state of ownership? Like if you create a thing, in some way it is forever yours.
Right? Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah.
So like we're talking about like you are a retailer of other people's intellectual property.
Yeah.
Yeah. And some of your own.
And some of
There's
my
a couple
own.
of books in there.
That's true.
Yep. And
That I've done.
don't you do
that's yours.
T-shirts that
So-
people can buy?
Yeah.
I hear you make arts and logos and stuff.
I make arts and logos.
Pet
Yeah.
portraits.
Not unlike isn't there another podcast
Vincent Van Gogh.
has a
Oh.
new logo?
Yeah.
Oh, I did.
What was that podcast called?
You
All
seem
up
to
in
be
your
like-
morgue, I think it's called. Yeah.
Yeah.
Up in the morgue.
Also with us tonight is Noel.
Yeah.
And then Alice is joining us
Me, I don't know what camera to look at. Hi.
from the Inside the Morgue podcast,
Go
wherein
Alice.
they discuss gross, creepy morgue stuff in relation to pop culture.
And yeah, TV shows, movies, all that good stuff.
And you have expertise in this field.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Like
Yeah.
you're not just somebody talking
Yeah,
about
no,
morgue
no,
stuff.
no, yeah, I'm a
Like,
forensic
she works at it.
technician, so
Yeah.
yeah. I know a thing or two.
Yeah.
I don't just watch a ton of these shows and be like, this isn't right.
I don't
like-
know about that.
that's like
I
somebody-
wouldn't know, but it feels like
Somebody
they probably
obsessive
wouldn't do
about
that.
serial killers on a forum. Like
Yeah.
I'm an investigator
Yeah.
Yeah.
for cold cases. Thank
Done
you.
my own
Yeah,
research.
I do my own research.
Am I allowed to say the thing about the jawbone? Nothing happened with the jawbone. Don't even think about it. Also in the booth is our trusty producer, Dylan the Great. Remember, if anything goes wrong, Dylan did it.
Yeah, I lost my jawbone. I don't know where it went. That's,
Yeah.
You
He's an
talked
amazing
surprisingly
ventriloquist,
well,
sort
yeah.
of.
yeah, it took a lot
Or
of
the
training,
opposite of a
but
ventriloquist.
Please feel free to like, comment, subscribe, and then email us at cultpopgo@gmail.com.
Don't feel free to. Just do it.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Feel
Yeah, I gotta be
compelled
more aggressive
to.
with it.
Yeah.
Stop what you're doing, and then like, comment, subscribe, and then hit the bell notification, you dummy.
Stupid.
Stupid idiot.
Dumb.
Speaking of which, Robert Monroe Jr. is in the chat saying,
That was
good evening.
speaking of stupid idiot dummies. There, a loyal listener whom I have always enjoyed.
Oh, no.
JD.
That's not what I meant.
Speaking of stupid shits.
I meant,
You know, when I think about people that make me feel dumber, it's Robert
yeah.
Monroe Jr.
Yeah.
And he's in the chat making us all
something-
stupid.
Yeah, saying something dumb, I'm sure. Good evening, Cold Poppers. My daughter and I are planning on seeing Monkey Man tomorrow.
Nice.
You know who's not
Nice.
stupid? His daughter.
Yeah, I'm sure she's awesome. And Chris says Monkey Man was fine. I had to see it a second time because the seats at AMC are too comfortable and I didn't get enough sleep. Honestly, I wish it had been on TV versus a movie, a miniseries.
Might be cool.
And are we going to review Late Night with the Devil at some point?
It will drop on Shudder later this month. So yeah, at the very least, JD and I will probably talk about it.
Yeah.
I don't want to watch it.
Wouldn't you also? Okay, yeah, we'll talk about it.
Nice. Anyway, now is the time when I take us into the second part of the show, which is a segment I like to call "What You Been Up
Block
to
B.
This Week, Huh?" And I'm going to throw it to Brian.
Hey,
What you been up to this week, huh?
I'll tell you, JD. I was watching Star Trek Discovery,
I've heard of it.
season 5, and this is sort of unexpectedly to them, I've heard, and unfortunately, the final season of this show.
They got
Yes.
to film an ending.
Yes, they did. They
So,
do, and apparently,
a lot of
it's very
times-
cool.
All I
yeah,
ask.
A lot of times when that happens, and it,
Yeah.
they don't. It's a cliffhanger. It never. They got an ending. It's an ending.
Yeah.
Is it over yet?
No.
Oh no, it just started.
Oh, okay, thank you.
Yeah, so they had apparently 2 episodes were dropped, and I only knew about one of them, and then I found out, and I was like, I got a second episode. So I've watched both of them now.
I like delighted Brian.
Oh, thank you.
It
delights
me.
My brain works totally differently because I just presume to get to like not the point. Your points are beautiful. I'm talking about like the extra details that happen in my brain that I don't vocalize.
Yeah.
You vocalize.
Oh yeah.
Like I caught the first one, didn't know there was a second one. Cool.
Yeah.
Or just like I caught the first of 2. I wouldn't think to like go through the cycle,
process?
which is that's why it's.
Oh, and like here's how it went down.
That's how
Let
it's
me
cute,
bring you
yeah.
in. Yeah, thank you. So I had a teacher once who said,
That's my fault. That's my fault. That's my fault. Hey, just so you know, we're going long tonight.
yeah. What football guys always scream out, we're gonna do it so much better.
Audible.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
You can hear the whole thing. So I was watching Star Trek Discovery, episodes 1 and 2.
Yes.
Wow.
Which I hadn't known.
Previously, didn't know it was 2 episodes.
But there were 2.
Yeah.
That's exciting.
Right? Yeah, it was more Star Trek.
Yeah.
It was like roughly twice as much. I don't know the number of the minutes.
Wait, I was
gonna
gonna say
say
what's
minutes.
the runtime of each episode? Yeah.
Don't do that. How is the show?
Oh, it's good.
Yeah.
I was really excited, and I was happy with it. Discovery has been great. They jumped to the far future several seasons
Wait,
ago.
I was going to say again.
At the end of episode, at the end of season 2.
Season 2, yeah.
Yeah.
So they've been in the far future. I love to see far future stuff, and extrapolations even of
futures.
Right. So I love it. And Star Trek has long been something that does that, right? Next Generation was set a century or more after the original series, right? So it was very cool. They referenced a Next Generation episode, which I have always loved. And
Is that what everyone's upset about online?
I don't know what they could be. It could be.
I think people are upset about online because they referenced something that Next Gen was like done with.
Apparently, some people don't like this episode because the science of it isn't necessarily something that works with our understanding of science.
Science fiction is not
Right.
It's-
But I always
it's
thought it could
somewhat
be the
fiction.
case.
I like when science fiction is science fact.
Yeah. I mean, hard sci-fi. Yes, so do I. Man,
Not high
If we could have
concept, low concept,
teleportation.
mid-concept.
Yeah.
Barely concept.
Yeah. Exactly. Every date is science fiction to you.
I mean, are you sharing pictures of like the eclipse where like it's a fraud or something? Like that's you. That's your Facebook feed.
So I love this episode. I love the the moral ending of this episode and like stuff that happens in it. The genetics background, some people seem to think is unlikely. Whatever.
Have you ever watched this show, Alice?
No.
Do you watch
Have you
any
ever
Star
watched
Trek?
a Star Trek?
No.
I'm not huge on
Oh,
Star
okay.
Trek. I've
All right.
probably seen it here and there.
My wife, Sam,
Trekkie?
doesn't care at all about Star Trek. We started Discovery together, the newer one.
Mm-hmm.
She loves it. It's serialized.
Okay.
It's an entry point. It calls back to other stuff, but it's still its own thing.
Yeah, it calls
have to check
back
it
in a
out.
way that you really don't need to know anything about.
Nope.
To the extent, actually, that a lot of fans were like, this doesn't fit into canon,
Yeah,
which
some
it's fine. It
people
does.
hate it.
I have a closer reference even. Me. Because
He's right here.
I never cared about Star Trek either, but then because of Discovery, that was my entry point.
Yeah, I feel like I just missed it. Like it just
Same.
was
It's back.
like
It comes around.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
I feel like I don't know why I just never got into it, but I feel like it's everything I'd like.
Discovery
so.
is the
Yeah.
one I like.
It's really good.
Discovery's fun, and then that and Strange
Michelle
New
Yeoh.
World
And
is so great.
Strange New Worlds is amazing. A little more traditional. Star Trek is usually very episodic, and it tells moral tales, morality plays, and then they're done. And like it'll reference its deep canon, but usually they're self-contained. Discovery is not like that. It's like a whole season, and it's very cool in its own way. They also referenced, which I was going to bring up anyway. They referenced this Promelians, right? These aliens and I thought that this was a really cool fact that it was a reference. So they were mentioned in one episode of Next Gen, a Promelian battle cruiser, right? And I don't know if you guys have heard, but in Star Wars, when they were writing the novels, there was a guideline like, not every planet is Alderaan. You need to go to other places, right? It makes the universe too small. And this is sometimes a common complaint nowadays, right? The universe is too small because we keep referencing the same thing. Yeah.
9 movies about one bloodline is too much, is it?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well, they
okay.
had only made 3 at that point. To be fair to them, I guess. But
I mean, to be fair to the concept of make it bigger, but whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And nowadays people say, why does everything have to be tied in, right? But I was thinking this morning, Picard mentions they find this old Promelian battle cruiser, and he was like, oh, it's like a ship in a bottle. I think I even had a Promelian battle cruiser, right? Like when I was a kid. And I thought, oh, that's cool. This is actually something that we've never seen again that we should see, right? It's like well known enough that he had one when he was a kid. So it makes perfect sense that it would be like, oh yeah, we ran into another old Promelian thing.
Yeah.
What are the names? What are the names off topic but on topic? What are the names of the aliens in Strange New Worlds that are the lizard people?
The Gorn.
Gorn. Thank you.
Yeah.
Okay. Because they're doing something like that with them, where it's like the Gorn have only been like the first time you saw them was in the original series, and they've been creating all these like little flashpoints from
They've had to
before
like
that.
dance around that a little
Yeah.
because they specifically said we've never seen a Gorn before in the original series. But they've also got a lot of time travel in Star Trek, and things change. And they even addressed that recently because there was some stuff. There was a eugenics war in the 1990s. I don't know if you guys remember that, but it played out differently in our timeline.
We all made it.
Yeah.
We're here.
So they like adjusted it recently on Strange New Worlds, where they're like, yeah, something kind of stopped that from happening back then, but time is always resetting itself, so it's still happening, which I thought was a cool way to say, like, we're not going to pretend that our timelines were different since the 1960s now. We're going to pretend they're different from now.
Would you recommend Discovery as a whole? And for those that have watched some of Discovery, would you recommend continuing season 5?
Because I fell off.
Absolutely. I know you did. And Michelle Yeoh is you're a big fan of hers. She's getting her own movie, Section 31.
Is it actually coming?
It's
filming.
like done filming. I think.
Oh, wow. Cool.
And she also shows up in more of Discovery than you have watched.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
That's all I need.
And
He's
yeah,
I'm in.
It's great. It's really good. She does leave eventually because she's doing this thing.
Sure.
There apparently a Starfleet Academy show is in the works, which is set in this far, far future, the 32nd century.
Is Redhead gonna be?
I assume
She
so,
better be a
'cause
main
she's
character.
teaching there.
No.
What redhead with the thing?
She does
The
not
hot
have the
redhead
thing.
with like an eye thing.
This redhead is also
This
attractive.
is a hot redhead
All
who does
redheads
not
are
have an eye thing. She has regular eyes.
She's regular.
She's very, very smart.
What do you mean by
which is
regular?
Betty
No.
Davis.
cool. Yeah, regular eyes.
Yeah.
So they're
that
spinning off into
one.
that. She's
The regular
teaching there now in continuity, so I assume that
Yeah,
that will
that's-
be the case.
that
David
for her.
Cronenberg is a recurring character.
Yeah, I love that.
He's amazing as this like the highest level Starfleet intelligence agent.
He's getting
who's,
paid
like,
to be
cryptic
weird.
and awesome.
Yeah, he's just getting paid
Yeah.
to be weird. And that's fine.
Yeah. And he wears glasses because he thinks they're cool. They don't need glasses
Yeah.
in the 32nd century. He just likes them.
Meanwhile, Cronenberg himself is probably just like, I need my glasses fucking right around it. Yeah.
Hey, Noel.
Yeah.
What have you been up to this week, huh?
Well, I couldn't think of what to talk about, so I'm going to talk about something that I watched that I don't think anybody else is interested in. Reacher on Prime Video,
Never heard it.
Amazon Prime.
I watched.
It's a streaming service.
Oh, Reacher.
Oh, I've heard of Amazon Prime. Yes.
The television
Yes.
the television
block.
adaptation of the novels about
Right.
the character of Jack Reacher, starring Alan Ritchson, who I'm mildly obsessed with, just because I read a really good Variety article interview
that
with
Hawk?
him. Yeah.
Hawk and Dove.
Also,
he
Aquaman
suffers-
in Smallville.
Oh my God.
yeah.
He deals with bipolar and ADHD and all kinds of stuff. And has, he's just a good dude and seems pretty cool. But the show Reacher is trash.
Yeah.
But not garbage.
Not garbage.
Not garbage.
Garbage
It
is
is-
wet, Alice.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Trash is
We've
good.
discussed this.
Trash is good like
Lame.
like fast food.
Oh, okay.
Garbage
Trash.
is
Like stinky. and
literal
Like fast food
Literal.
that was in a
piece
trash
of
can.
garbage.
Gotcha.
Don't touch
Yeah.
it. It smells bad, right?
Okay.
This is
Bring you
trash.
up to speed.
This is wonderful. This show is like a 2 a.m. trip to Taco Bell. This
Sweet.
show is amazing.
I think because I think last time I was here, I said I watched trash television, and I
Yes.
meant it like
Yes.
good, like
Yeah.
I
Great.
loved it.
Did we not discuss this at that
No,
time? 'Cause
we didn't.
usually do.
No.
Yeah, it
comes up a lot.
It's reoccurring. Trash is a positive. This show
Yeah,
is
that's
trash.
how I meant it.
He in the first season, the whole season, 10 episodes. It is one case where he's trying to solve the mystery of his murdered brother. He is a ne'er-do-well, former special ops investigator. Doesn't carry anything other than the money in his pocket, the clothes on his back, and just like a force of nature rolls through a town and sees wrongs, rights them.
Sounds like a real Mary Sue.
Yeah, he is. Actually, he is. He's a Mary Sue. It's very wonderful. The new season started a couple months ago, but I just now started getting into it. It's the same fun trashiness. This is such a comfortable show.
Oh, fun.
Like if you just like fun action,
Cool.
it's good.
Nice.
Yeah. Reacher on Amazon Prime, 2 seasons now. It doesn't ask for anything more than you have on you.
See,
The
I
money
get
in
that,
your
and I
pocket,
need
the
that
clothes on
sometimes.
your back.
Yeah.
You
It-
just
it
watch
is-
the-
They
it
just
is-
want to leave you naked and
It is not a challenging
Empty
show.
your pockets.
It's not a challenging show, but it's also not stupid.
Yeah.
Cool.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, yeah.
Like, it's
Yes.
just fun.
It's an
just-
easy watch.
It's a very easy, enjoyable watch. Also, it gets real violent at times.
right.
That's
I
just
love
a fun kind
violence.
of
Yeah, you
thing.
do.
You know, like he breaks bones really well. Yeah, it's good. It's a good show.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like very cleanly, or he just is good at trash?
Well, if you've ever seen the actor, he's
Yeah.
like 17 feet
He's a big
tall
guy.
and then 16 feet wide.
Much
Like,
bigger
he's a
than Tom
very
Cruise.
big, strong guy.
Who previously
Did you
played
ever
the
see
part.
Optimus Prime?
He
Wait,
basically is Optimus
Optimus
Prime.
Prime.
He is
He's basically
boxy as a
Optimus
truck.
Prime. Yeah.
But he stays human the whole
Yeah,
time.
yeah.
Okay.
So it's really it's this weird visual film language with him in a scene where he does something that is a feat of strength that you're like probably not. But then like you'll see him in interviews and you're like, oh no, he fucking did that.
No.
Like just ripped what is it, the zip ties? Like for
Oh, yeah.
handcuffs?
Oh yeah, yeah.
Like in the show, he just like, ugh, and just takes them off when they allow him to leave.
Yeah.
And he's just like, oh no, I did that, and he actually
Wow.
did. Like it's just so weird. Like he punches a window open. And you're like, in most shows that he would break his hand. I'm like, I don't know. I think he may
may have.
have been able to do that.
I like the
Just
idea.
the
that
language of the
prop
show
guy-
is so ridiculous
Yeah.
that you're just like into it.
Yeah. Well, I was thinking the prop guy is like continually amazed. He's like,
Yeah.
but those were the real ones.
I
Every
have
episode.
the fake window over here. I didn't put it in
Through
yet.
the wrong window.
I had a fake head for you to crush.
This
I didn't have to murder that
You
man.
killed the guy.
Yeah, this extra is dead. It's fine. He's union.
He wasn't.
It's a really really fun,
Nice.
trashy show, and I love it. It's wonderful. Yeah.
Alice, what you been up to this week? Huh?
I have been watching Dimension 20 on Dropout TV, which for anyone that doesn't know is a D&D show. It's like on Dropout TV, which is a college humor thing. So
YouTube?
it's on Dropout TV, the website. But you can also see some of the episodes on YouTube.
Okay.
But like if you want to watch all the seasons, it's on Dropout TV.
Gotcha.
Which my
Gotcha.
siblings and I have a shared account because we're all
They have
obsessed.
apps for it.
I think they do. Yeah,
Like
they
I can
do.
get on
It's
my
like a
Apple
police
TV and
site.
stuff.
It's what?
You pay for it.
It's a streaming service.
Yeah, it's a streaming service.
Okay, thank
Yeah,
you.
and you can watch other college humor stuff on there. It's not just D&D stuff. That's just mostly what I use it for. But so yeah, it's a really fun D&D show, and they're on the 3rd season of Fantasy High, which is one of their campaigns. But they have a million other campaigns
Yeah.
that are like different types of interests that you might have. Like there's one that's loosely based off Lord of the Rings, but from the point of view of the villains. So they're all playing as different villains, trying to catch a
High
halfling.
fantasy.
High fantasy.
High fantasy.
Yes.
We've also talked about this at length.
Yes. So this one's called Fantasy High. They're basically all playing high schoolers who are going to like an adventuring academy.
Too many.
But it's so good.
Nice.
And so they're in their junior year now, and just the way the DM organizes, the DM is Brandon Lee Mulligan, and the way he like just creates, he's so good at world building, and it's just so much fun. And this year they have so much more money because the show took off after their first year, and the set designs are like they have the little miniatures and little sets for each fight, and they're insanely cool.
Do they like move them around?
Yeah.
That's cool.
So it's like, it is a podcast. You can listen to it. They do have some on like Spotify. I've listened to some seasons, but you have to watch it because like some of the fight scenes are insane.
The DM, this guy,
Brennan Lee Mulligan, yeah.
I enjoy him on that other show.
He's in
that's
college-
on Dropout TV.
Game Changers?
Thank you.
Game changer.
Game Changers.
that's
He's
right.
hilarious. Yeah,
Also,
Game Changer. He's
one of
known
the-
for his monologues.
Yes.
Very
One of
funny
the other I don't know if you can hear the horn, but that's great.
Yeah, that was
one of the other regulars. Actually, he's a regular on Game Changers also.
Zach Oyama. He's my
But-
favorite.
One of the regulars on Game Changers is Josh Rubin.
Yes, he's so. Oh my God, they have his spinoff with the three of them called Make Some Noise. That's so funny because they're all like sound guys and they just have to make different ridiculous noises. One of them is they had to do the sound of what it would be like if there's 1,000 Batmans in one room. And Josh Rubin did it so. It was so funny.
Like by himself?
Yeah.
That's a
He's like,
Wait, I think I've got one.
Josh Rubin. No, hang on. Josh Rubin
right.
though is also the writer director of Werewolves Within, Scare Me, some other movies. He's kind of in horror.
Oh, that's cool.
Also,
Yeah.
he's a writer director that's improv
Yeah.
as well as like horror movies.
I think a lot of
really
them are
cool.
like writers, actors, comedians. They all do other things within the College Humor like universe. They do skits and stuff. They write. I love them all. Zach Oyama is one of my favorites. Allie Beardsley, they're amazing.
So the College Humor Dropout is like they're still associated with College Humor.
Yes.
This is okay.
Yeah,
Gotcha.
I'm pretty sure. It's just like a subset, I believe.
see.
But yeah, it's dropout.tv.
My friend Jess had recommended another podcast to me because I've been enjoying Adventure Zone.
Yes.
And she said if you want something like that the storytelling is really, really good, not as strong on the humor, Worlds Beyond.
I've heard of it. I haven't
Is that
listened to
Brandon
it.
Lee Mulligan as well?
I don't know. I'm not 100% sure. I've only really ever watched Dimension 20. I have listened to some Adventure Zone with my brother.
It's so
And it's so funny. And is it the McElroy?
Yes.
The McElroy family
Brothers
is
McElroy.
they're
I love it when they
in a
people do
season of Dimension 20 called Tiny Heist, which is a quick one shot. They call it a side quest, but it's like a one shot campaign that's only 6 episodes. And
It is
they're in it with their dad too, and it's
Yeah,
so funny.
I love it.
Oh, nice.
The three
It's
brothers
so
and their dad.
funny.
That's
It's
awesome.
really cute.
Yeah.
And it's annoying how quick they are. How
That's how
Yeah,
this
that
is
ridiculously
too.
fast they
That
are.
would piss me off.
Right?
That's how Dimension 20 is too. Like you got to keep up with like they're so good at yes-anding each other
Yeah.
and just and Brennan is so good at like letting them do their crazy stuff, but he holds them to it. So like if they
Yeah.
he's gonna be like, hey, remember that thing that you made canon in season 1? You still have to do
coming
that.
back.
It's
Yeah.
coming back.
Ooh, I like that.
Yeah,
I like that.
It's
Yeah.
great. It's really good.
I have been I just been X-Men 97ing.
I did a little of that earlier today.
I'm all
Yeah.
I'm all 97'd up.
Yeah.
Are you? Me too.
I'm 98'd.
That's
So
a different
this
year.
morning,
I don't think. I don't believe
Is
you.
season 2 going to be X-Men 98?
That's a good question. I I don't know. He doesn't know either.
Jesus Christ.
So
You
X-Men,
really
Everyone's-
caused a stir
really
there.
stumped us.
Everyone's broken now.
X-Men 97.
We're going short tonight.
I got up this morning and on Twitter, I saw multiple people say, "Get off the internet until you see X-Men 97 before people spoil it for you."
No.
Right.
And so
sorry.
I did.
Don't
Did you?
apologize.
Well,
And I did not get spoiled for X-Men 97. This is episode 5.
5.
yeah.
All right, so a little bit of background. I never cared about the X-Men 90s cartoon.
Right.
X-Men 92 to 96, right? I tried it when I was a kid, and I thought the animation was terrible, especially when there was things like Batman animated series happening, which was like breaking ground.
True.
And so I, even as an adult,
Literally was breaking ground. They built
Yeah.
in the Catskills.
With
yeah.
the
in the
celluloid.
Catskills. And then
Broke
when
it.
97 was
Broke
about to
ground.
come out, I was like, you know what? Let me try X-Men, the original. And I couldn't get
It's
through
not
the
a
whole
good
episode.
show. We talked about it a couple episodes ago. There's also a wonderful TikTok about it. If you don't follow our social feeds or the Young Chunk social feed, you should do that.
Starring us.
Definitely should.
The TikTok.
But
Yeah.
this show
Ooh.
gets better and better as it goes.
good.
But it also maintains just the most what's the word I want to
90s ish.
melodramatic dialogue.
Yeah.
It is very what are the daytime talk show? The daytime shows.
Soap
Soap
opera.
opera.
Soap opera.
Yeah.
It's soap opera-y.
operatic.
It's
Operatic?
soap operatic.
Soap
yes.
operatic.
Yeah.
It's comic books, man.
But goddamn, is this not good? And like this new episode was the best one yet, even though I thought the second one was going to be the best of the season.
You were right at the time.
I was.
So two things, without spoiling anything, two things I want to mention about this show, this episode. One, it canonized the creepy grooming of Magneto.
Yes.
She's an adult in that, though.
Was she always?
looks exactly the same as she does
but,
in the
like,
modern time.
It goes from her being trained by her mother
Yeah.
to Magneto, and the visualization of it
Yeah.
is pure grooming. Even if she's over 18.
Oh, that's funny. When I saw it, I was like, she looks exactly the same. That thing we talked about, it was fine.
The delta between the ages and his like power over, like literally a power dynamic of him being her teacher doesn't matter. It's grooming.
Just, like, helping
it's
out.
a little.
Fell in love.
It's weird. No, and they didn't fall in love. She just could touch him, and
She was.
that was another
That's
power
true.
he had over.
Yeah.
It's not cool.
She can't touch other people. I don't
Yeah,
know if you
yeah,
know
yeah. I know.
that. Okay,
I know the
yeah.
basics of X-Men. I just haven't watched the series.
It was creepy to me.
Okay. No,
Okay.
no.
And then the second thing is the creator or the showrunner, the former showrunner, mentioned specifically in an interview that he wants this show to feel like two things, because the audiences are pre 9/11 and post 9/11. So the first 5 episodes are nostalgic for that older audience that remembers the old show and what it was like and the language of that old show.
Yeah.
And then something's going to happen
Oh.
that will
Yes.
change the dynamic of the show without changing the show, but change the dynamic of the show, that now you have a different perspective on this world.
Ah.
Interesting.
So this was that midpoint where
Yeah,
it's
it
like,
was.
holy shit.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what I thought, because I had heard
I can actually
the
look up the
spoiler
quote.
thing. A friend of mine actually said something
Dancing
which
around-
I thought might have
dancing
been
around
it,
it.
but then turned out to be very, very minor. It was just about like, oh, you see this thing, right?
Yeah.
And then there were multiple times within this episode that I was like,
Yeah.
oh, that must have been
That's
the
the thing.
I
Right?
thought we were just
Yeah.
doing the show, or like the show was doing something very specific that happens in the comic. Oh, the island that happens to the island of Genosha.
Yeah.
I thought that was going to be it.
Yeah.
Nope. There's more.
There was
and
more.
then
And also
It's-
an
it's even
appearance
like-
of a certain character that you barely see.
What was that?
oh yeah,
I saw it.
as the Watcher.
Are we gonna?
That was the
Uatu, the
Watcher.
Watcher.
Oh,
Yeah.
it happened so quick. I was like, is that Professor Xavier? It's gone.
No, I think it was Uatu.
It was a
It
Uatu.
was a big event.
Oh, was that it? Oh.
I don't
Spoiler
know.
alert.
We
No,
said it though.
I mean,
As it turns out, that was actually not
it's not a spoiler.
really
Yeah.
a big part of it.
No, it's
so.
fine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Doesn't really do anything, right? Yeah.
He's the Watcher.
He watched.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
man,
I wonder if
this
it'll
was-
be the same Watcher as
As-
if we ever see the Watcher
right,
again.
Jeffrey,
if it'll be
not Jeffrey Rush.
no, Jeffrey Rush.
Sorry, I'm creepy.
It's that guy that
No, it's good.
we
I was
all
looking
think
for
he's
the
great.
actual-
Yeah. Jeffrey.
He's Commissioner Gordon in
Jeffrey
the Batman
Wright.
movie. Jeffrey Wright.
Uatu, Jeffrey
Oh,
Wright.
yes.
There we go.
Jeffrey Wright.
And then Christopher says, X-Men wasn't great compared to Spider-Man from the same time. Yeah,
Oh, Spider-Man.
I was big
Yeah.
into the Spider-Man show.
Yeah, that was awesome.
Not the X-Men show, but
Wait,
even
you
the-
like Spider-Man?
Yeah.
I know.
I'm just kidding.
Spoiler alert.
He's in Spider-Man.
Yeah, but even Spider-Man goes off the rails after a while.
When he goes to the other universes.
That's the
Here's-
one with the meme.
no, that's an
no,
older one.
that's
okay.
actually.
Here's
Yeah.
here's the actual quote from Bo DeMeo. Sorry, who got fired from the show. I don't know.
Oh, I didn't know that.
My plan was the first half of the season
this-
is the OG audience's pre 9/11 days, rife with nostalgia and comfort. Then 9/11, like Tulsa and other mass tragedies, turned the world upside down and reminded us that the whole world is unsafe. So this is a turning point for the whole show, which I thought was really cool.
That is kind of cool.
It
Yeah,
was
this
really
great.
cool.
And like
it
the
does seem to be what
animation is
everybody
good.
does or did when the reboot stuff started. Was like, what if something went real wrong? Yeah.
But it was intentional and calculated and
yeah.
And from the comics.
yeah.
And from the
it's
comics.
just
I mean,
continuing-
I thought the episode was awesome. I was just saying like that happened a lot. Yeah.
To your point though,
Yeah.
I think it like other times it's not done very well.
That's
I
true.
think it would be
That's true.
reductive to apply the same logic to this one because it was done very well. So it's like reductive to just say like they're always darkening up those remakes. Like
Yeah.
right, you know, and like this is an example of I think it working really well.
Oh, yeah.
Especially
It was well done.
The,
The original
juxtaposition of-
show, from what I understand, like dealt with dark themes as well. It's not like
Dark
it
Phoenix.
got darker.
Dark Phoenix.
literally.
Professor Xavier literally
Xavier
got
was shot and
murdered.
killed,
Yeah.
or left,
Or
to
was
go to the
he?
Shi'ar
Dun dun
Empire.
dun.
Yeah.
But yeah, and I just the way they animated and brought in Nightcrawler,
Oh, it was awesome.
he was delightful.
That was actually the thing that I had heard, and I was like, I rather would not have known that. But there was so many.
But you still enjoyed it?
No. It turned out that was just like, oh, you see a lot of cameo stuff.
Yeah.
Oh, there's
Yeah.
a lot of cameos, a
Yeah.
lot of new X-Men, a lot of like mutant
Yeah.
Academy characters.
Yeah.
It was really cool.
Yeah,
Gloop.
highly recommend.
Fucking Gloop is in the background, my dude.
Like no, he's in like 9 scenes. They keep showing Gloop.
Pixie. Yeah, there's a lot of
bunch
like
of them, yeah.
there's a lot of older
little
characters.
floating guy.
He's the big gelatin dude with like
skeleton
floating
and
eyeballs.
floating
That guy's cool.
Yeah,
it's
he's
Gloop,
great.
yeah.
That's like a Grant Morrison.
Sounds like he'd be named Gloop.
Yeah,
Sounds like a really
it looks
good name.
exactly like a Gloop.
Sounds, that's
know
what
what's-
I was picturing when you said Gloop.
Some people are like, you don't look like an Alice. Like he looks like a Gloop.
He was named.
Do I
Gloop.
look like a Gloop or an Alice?
You're more Alice than Gloop.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah,
What I'm
way
going
further
for.
in that direction.
Thank you.
Funnily enough, he was named Gloop before his mutation
Yeah,
manifested.
yeah, that was his birth-given name.
Yeah,
Really
it's
strange.
Gloop Johnson.
Kind of like how Scar in The Lion King, was he called Scar?
Before the Scar,
Before the Scar?
right?
Or after?
Probably.
Why do you guys keep calling me that?
That, yeah.
Stop it! You're gonna.
You're gonna jinx it.
He did it to himself just so there would be a reason.
You're like, listen.
Yeah.
He just wanted a cool nickname. So he made it up for himself.
They're gonna call me Scar.
Yeah.
All right, let's move on to the main topic of tonight, which is the film that just released this past week called
Monkey Face.
Man, directed by Dev Patel, starring Dev Patel.
Written by Dev Patel. Co-written by Dev
Co-written,
Patel.
but yeah. A young man ekes out a meager living in an underground fight club where, night after night, wearing a gorilla mask, he's beaten bloody
No.
by more popular fighters for cash. After years of suppressed rage, he discovers a way to infiltrate the enclave of the city's sinister elite as his childhood trauma boils over. His mistake.
I know, like, what noise do I make for that?
His scarred hands unleash an explosive campaign of retribution to settle the score with the men who took everything from him.
No.
So yeah,
Three of the four of us saw this movie.
Four of us saw it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wait, did you not see it?
I didn't.
No.
I did not have a chance.
But-
Things
but-
were going on.
But spoilers are gonna happen
For sure.
and
okay.
you'll ask
Tell you.
not until we tell you, and
tell you the
and we'll
spoiler.
ask you questions.
And I'm
You
not
can ask
gonna
questions.
spoil it.
I thought you
you're not
were.
gonna-
Simpson said, "God schmod, I want my monkey man."
There you go.
I thought you
But
were
that's-
making
Get
fun
that
of
reference
me
now.
because we
he
missed
said
the
it.
beginning.
Oh,
So
no, no,
I thought you were
Okay, yeah, actually, yeah, that's about only 3 people have seen this movie. Only one person sitting
saw
here has
the
seen the
entire-
whole movie.
Yeah.
Oh,
one
which
of
kid?
us read about it on Wikipedia
Who didn't?
after she saw it.
I didn't even do that. So.
You didn't even read about it?
I did not read about it.
Did you read about it?
No, I didn't want
Oh.
spoilers
Oh, right,
until
yeah.
this show.
Until now.
I wanted
Which
to
is
hear it
not
from you
happening
guys.
Not
yet.
now, not
Yeah.
now.
Not yet. We'll tell you
Until-
when spoilers start.
Yeah.
What did
20
you
minutes.
think about this movie,
To
Jay?
break it to
Me?
gently.
Yeah, you.
All right. So broad strokes, without giving anything away, it was a blast. I saw, there's been a lot of, in the same way that The Matrix had sort of changed the landscape of action movies forever. I think that the John Wick films have really done, I don't want to say damage, but
No,
they-
it's
they
damage.
have-
I think it's damage.
They've done some damage to the action genre. I love those movies, but everything that has come out since has been like trying to do John Wick a little bit. And I feel like this does that, but is also really effective at it.
No, I think it's an audience problem.
Oh, tell me more.
I think that audiences are comparing everything to John Wick when they should not be compared to John Wick.
Ooh,
I
This
see.
is
okay.
not. This is not.
You don't think that this was Wickian?
No, I don't. I
Is
think
this is my fault.
No, I think that this.
I'm the wrong one.
This is not Wick at all. Like this is more comparative to the Bourne movies. This is more comparative to Korean action movies. Absolutely. The Jason Bourne movies, the first to 3, absolutely. This is much more single guy, shaky cam, less balletic, and in your face than the incredibly well choreographed, neon hued, cartoonish nature and structure of the John Wick movies. Yeah.
okay.
This is not. I don't think this is a John Wick ripoff whatsoever in any way, shape, or form.
I think
They
at
make
least
fun
shape
of
and
John.
form.
They
but
make
maybe not
fun
way.
of John Wick in this movie.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
They
like,
bring it up, but that doesn't negate that it might also.
I don't think it's John Wick comparison.
That's fair. You don't have to. But anyway.
Clearly.
I'm correct.
I still liked it. I really enjoyed it. I do have some issues with things, but again, those are just action movie tropes that I kind of like. It stopped me in my tracks a little bit. But I also think some of the action could have been better filmed. Like the sets, the setups.
What about you?
I was sitting there watching this movie that I came like 10 minutes late to, and I was thinking the whole time, I was like, damn, these guys get me to watch movies that I don't think I'm gonna like, and I end up really enjoying. And
Ah.
I was like, because I wasn't sure I was gonna like it. Like it just, not that I didn't think I was gonna.
Until the day we don't. Until the day we don't.
And then maybe after
Yeah,
that.
and then
And off again.
yeah.
Maybe back on.
So far, it's been good. But yeah, like Tenet, I didn't think I was gonna enjoy it. I really enjoyed Tenet,
man,
and this I had a really fun time with. I thought it was a lot of fun. Two.
Nice.
2 for 2
2
so
out of
far.
2.
That's great.
100%.
I'm not counting Saltburn because I made you guys watch that. That was my idea.
Whoa, that was really good.
You're 1 for 1 because I enjoyed the
Yeah.
experience.
Yeah.
I mean,
and that guy was in it.
I don't ever want to again.
The guy that played older Loki.
Yeah,
Richard Grant.
the guy from the Little Vampire.
Yes, from the little
Old
Vampire.
Loki was in it. I don't know if you guys
yeah.
knew that. Old
Also,
Loki.
Alligator Loki was in it.
In Loki.
In the back.
Yeah.
And there was rocks.
Now, are you an action gal? Do you like action films?
Sometimes I don't always seek them out. Like I don't always seek them out to like, oh, I have to see this in theaters. Like I'll watch it at home later when
Oh,
it comes
sure.
to streaming.
Yeah.
So like when you're like, oh, we're gonna see Monkey Man in theaters, I was like, okay, like wouldn't have sought this one out, but like I'll give it a shot. I like Dev Patel, and
Can I ask a question?
yeah,
Because we're learning about each other right now.
yeah, I'm so scared.
What's your favorite action movie? If you even could like pull that. I know, like I hate those questions. I hate those questions because usually there's like 5 answers and/or it's a little on the spot. Think about it. When you think about like, oh, it's such a good action movie, and I will instinctively compare others to it.
Vampire's Kiss. Or whatever the movie you mentioned earlier was.
So like
It's a different kind of action.
the Little Vampire.
Vampire.
Yeah,
that's right.
Vampire.
I think there is a
I was
movie.
like
There's a movie called
Twilight.
Vampire Kiss.
Yeah.
I was like Interview with the Vampire. Like
Twilight.
No, I thought that was the one that Richard E. Grant was in.
no, Richard E. Grant is in the Little Vampire.
Littlest
Damn
Vampire.
it.
Little or little?
I had to choose
The
between
little.
the two of them.
The Little Vampire.
The little.
He's the little one.
Yeah.
Not Richard E. Grant. He's the dad.
Do you have a
have-
favorite action movie?
So now I feel really.
Is there something Costa makes you watch all the time?
No. Costa, is there something you are you still here?
Are you an action fan, Costa?
Costa? Yeah, I feel like Costa's an action fan. I always see. I'm just immediately going to like all the Marvel movies,
That's fair.
like
Those
Civil
count.
War.
Yeah.
Civil War is up there for me.
That's totally fair.
There's some
I
good,
guess those are action movies.
right?
There's a lot of action in those movies.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true.
I know. Now you're really putting me on the spot.
Don't feel
No,
on the
because
spot,
now I'm
this'll
wondering.
be-
I'm like,
This will be a continual exploration over the next many years.
I felt like the movie had
I know.
a couple of dings. One of them being just how the set pieces were filmed and shot. I think there was a little bit too much, too many close-ups, too much shaky cam.
I did. See, this is a personal thing for me. I get motion sick very easily. So we came in right at like shaky cam, like high point, and I'm like, I might not be able to sit through this movie if it's the entire time, but it wasn't.
I like when you're using shaky cam and a lot of quick cuts to sort of inform the viewer of just how chaotic a scene might be. But I also like it when you get just a static shot of what's happening between the characters who are doing their ballet, right? Their
So you
action.
can make sense of it.
So you can, you can
Yeah.
actually like track it.
Wait, I got it.
I would like to comment on that. We'll put a pin in that.
What
Is Kill Bill an action movie?
Yeah.
Oh my
Yeah.
God,
Oh,
yes.
yeah.
Kill Bill is my favorite action movie.
Are you
that's
counting
a good
both
one.
parts
Yes.
as one movie?
Yes.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, they were
I love
released
both of those.
I think more one than two, but both.
No, that's why I you know what?
I'm still angry about it.
I'll fight on that hill.
I thought you were pissed at me for, I don't know, not knowing it. Or
I'll die on that hill. That it
suggesting
was
that they would.
conceived as one movie. It is 2 movies.
Yeah.
It was
Okay.
released as.
Okay.
It was viewed as. It's never been presented as one. It is 2 movies.
I'm sorry, I smacked him because they've never released the whole bloody
that
better
affair.
him than me. Yeah.
Anyway, go ahead.
I actually think this was an effective version of shaky cam.
Okay.
Because bad shaky cam is Born Supremacy, where it's a static shot, but then it's just whipping around and like you're not really tracking the motion. This one, it's a shaky cam, but the camera operator is also aware of the choreography and he whips between bodies and underneath arms.
Oh no, that's
You're-
stuff. No, I'm
but
not.
you're aware of the geographic location of everyone in the scene when
Yes,
they're in an action
I'm
scene.
just
So
saying
it's-
I like to break it up a little bit.
Yeah.
I think it was well done. I think it was overdone, and I think we could have used a couple of just whoop, pull back so you can actually
I
watch.
think the first half of the movie is less The action in the first half of the movie is not nearly as good as the third act. Like it's almost like the movie learned how to be a better action movie as it was going.
Just like the main character.
Would you
Basically.
characterize it as like this style, like overwhelming but not out of control?
It is not. I don't
bad
think it was out of
shaky cam.
control.
Yeah.
I don't think it was out of control
yeah,
at all. Yeah,
yeah.
Interesting.
Like especially like
was
I think
purposeful.
I think it
Yeah.
kind of culminates in the kitchen and then the elevator,
Yes.
which is both shaky cam sequences, but you're never confused about the geographic location of everyone or the goals of
Right.
the
Oh,
main
no,
Right.
sure.
Right.
Whereas bad shaky cam is just
It was
Wait,
kind
I'm
where
on
are
a
we? Who's
train
doing what?
and they're realistically
Yeah.
trying to make me feel like I'm on a train, but I can't see
don't
what
wanna
the
be on
fuck's
a train.
happening. Yeah. I'm not
I wanna
on a
be on a
train.
couch watching a movie.
I'm in the movie. Yeah, yeah. Like shaky cam that puts you in the space without
Yeah.
like giving you a sense of motion is just bad.
Yeah.
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 You want to be moving with it, not it's moving all around you.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think that he pulls it off a lot in this, but there are some scenes where it's like focus.
Yeah. Yeah. It just
Because he
just
does
gets,
like hazy focus at
it gets
times, too.
tiring for my brain and eyes to be constantly bouncing around that much. It's like just give us a pull back for just a second and come back in.
I thought I liked it a lot.
Yeah.
I think it has a good chunk of like first director shagginess, right?
Everything but the kitchen sink. I feel like he
It's
threw
a lot.
everything.
The movie's
Scene in the kitchen just.
the movie's a lot, but I like
Just not the sink.
Yeah, yeah.
They left that out.
There's two versions of this movie, and I don't know which one I liked more. I think they worked. They just needed to be like shaved a little. The one version is just the revenge plot. The other version is like the mother story, the allegory, and then his like his journey, his like spiritual journey, because there's a whole subplot of a spiritual journey throughout this whole movie that's
sounds
like
interesting.
it's parallel with the main plot, but the movie doesn't integrate them very well all the time. I feel like the middle is a little rough. The beginning sets it all up really well, and the end pays it off really well, but there's the whole middle half hour that's a little sleepy.
Yeah. Agreed.
But it's such
a little
it's
long.
so worth watching though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
it
could
was
have
great.
trimmed about 15 off of this.
Yeah. And the movie goes places where I was just like, oh.
Yeah.
Oh, we're doing that?
Yeah.
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 Yeah. Oh,
And yeah,
yeah.
for sure.
We'll get
we'll
into-
get into
we'll get into
spoilers.
spoilers.
But yeah, I also we haven't. I probably wait until the spoilers. But there is a scene. It's like the most gnarly action beat that is used not for the end action scene, and I was really surprised by that. But we'll get to that in the spoilers. Which anything? Yes.
Oh my god.
Yes, it's that exactly. I was like, that's all I remember
like,
about
what
the
is-
action of that movie.
Nice.
But it wasn't like the end battle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did-
I think we like turned and looked at each other like,
do we need to pose on that again so we can get like a good
Yes.
chunk for the
do it.
In my
The
memory.
thumbnail.
thumbnail?
Sorry,
I'm all about the thumbnails, my dude.
Should we
Now, wait,
move on
before
to?
we get into spoilers,
Okay.
there's something I think that I mentioned to you guys last week off the show. So I want to bring it up to these guys too, out of there. And this movie had some difficulties being
yes.
made,
Yes, yes,
right?
yes.
As you know,
right.
And they were about to
I
give
didn't
up.
know.
And you did not know.
I did not know.
Oh, then get ready for this.
Okay. Tell me.
Prepare.
I'm here.
Wait,
Yeah.
There's multiple tiers of it though. Are you going through the whole like timeline of it or just the end?
I'm not sure how much I know.
Okay, so it started with this is the directorial debut of Dev Patel. He also co-wrote it. They got it financed via Netflix, shot during the pandemic. So
really?
it was
I
had no idea.
Yeah, this movie's been out. This movie's been done for a while. So it was a bubble of about 500 people on an island in Indonesia that all basically quarantined together to make this movie. Because of the crazy nature of it, they pretty much just used everyone and anyone to do everything. Like one of the cinematographers, one of the DPs, is a former stunt guy because it was like he was taking pictures and previs stuff, and Dev liked it, so he was like, "Hey, do you just want to be a camera operator?"
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Like shit like that, where everyone was
cool.
doing everything. They had no money, so like when somebody falls through a table in this movie, if they want another shot, they have to rebuild the table and run it again.
Yeah.
Like it was all like crazy.
That's insane.
Years later, when it's getting ready for post-production and release, Netflix drops the movie. They're not going to release it for some reason or other, and Dev Patel pretty much assumed it was going to be a tax write-off and not going to happen.
Yeah.
Batgirl.
Maybe, yeah, something along those lines. And Jordan Peele heard about it, watched it, fucking loved it, and brought his army of lawyers and Universal people over to put it in theaters.
That's awesome.
Like that's
Love
the
it.
short version of it. Did you?
I had heard, but now I'm not sure when this happened or the reasons that they had run out of money. And so people who are not actors who worked on the movie are in the movie. Just like, we need somebody to be this guy and say this or do this. And so like
Oh, wow.
you know, whatever accountant. Movies have accountants
One
on
of-
set, I think.
All the time.
yeah.
Yeah, you're absolutely right.
Yeah,
Like
okay.
during
That's
the
what I
course
wanted to
of
be
it,
when I grew up.
On set accountant.
they all kind of like
Have an office.
We're all together in this like quarantine. So if you didn't have extra hands to pull in,
Right.
One of the better examples is during the training montage, the man with the drums. That is a very specific instrument, and he is apparently one of the best musicians for that in the world. So he quarantined for 2 weeks, came out for 3 days of shooting, and they did all that stuff together. And this guy was just like, you know, a month of his life for 3 days of shooting to be in like that one sequence of the training. It was everyone doing favors for each other.
That's fun.
It was very, very cool.
I like that.
Speaking of budget cuts, multiple shots were filmed with GoPros and iPhones.
Yes.
Which is kind of fun. And I did not know this about Dev Patel, that he had actually started training in Taekwondo when he was 10.
Really?
And had I don't know what this means, a first Dan black belt in March 2006 at the age of 16. God, he was 16 in 2006. Jesus.
He was born in 1990.
Oh, he suffered a number of injuries during the filming of the movie, which included a broken hand, 2 broken toes, a torn shoulder, and an eye infection. Someone farted on his pillow.
Probably.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Which he didn't realize would cause an eye infection.
it was just for fun.
The film was originally meant to be released straight to streaming on Netflix until Jordan Peele saw the film and feeling it deserved a theatrical release instead, acquired it from Netflix for his banner, which has a distribution deal with Universal Pictures.
So I had seen on Twitter, someone was like, oh, they didn't want to put, Netflix was cowardly and they didn't want to put it out because it had politics in it.
There are politics.
There's lots of politics in it.
But no, it's not. It's not because of wokeness or anti-wokeness.
That's
It's
what they
just
made it. Yeah.
They bought the movie to distribute it, and it made its money back. Go see this movie in theaters.
It's so
Do it.
good.
It's
If
out
you-
now.
Yeah, like real movies.
Let's get into spoilers right meow.
All right, Brian,
comes.
ready?
Yeah.
You ready?
Yeah, this is how I want it.
This is how you want
Yeah.
it spoiled
Yeah.
for you.
Oh, spoiler alert. Dane Z is in the chat saying, just joining. Love the shirt, Noel.
Thank you.
Nice.
I said that earlier. It's so
It's
good.
a very
Godzilla vs.
cool
Kong
shirt.
is a cavity color shirt. Now, I wore it specifically because my nephew asked. He made a request that we review Godzilla vs. Kong, and I was like, honey, that movie is like 5 years old.
Yeah.
And he said, it's okay. Just have your friends watch it, and you could talk about it.
Hey, what'd you think
So
of
I wore the
Godzilla
shirt
versus
anyway.
Kong?
I think Godzilla vs. Kong is a masterpiece.
It was great.
There you go.
There, we reviewed it. Look at us.
Yay! Now go to bed.
The thing that, do the thing.
What thing?
Put the knife in
The
your mouth.
amount of
Oh,
There's a sequence in this
Mouth.
movie where he, at first it started to remind me of that horrible scene that has always stuck with me in Saving Private Ryan, which is
God.
when 2 soldiers are going at it and, with violence.
Bro,
and,
violence. With gusto.
with gusto.
Yeah.
And the knife is
Pretty slow.
slowly
Yeah.
being put into this
Yeah.
dude's heart.
yeah.
While he's begging for his life, and I just can't.
And
I always see it.
And it's not the Nazi. It's
Right.
the Jewish army guy that is in a protracted battle and loses.
Yeah,
Yeah.
awful. And it's against somebody who he let go earlier.
Oh, I forgot about
Yeah,
that.
like
Oh my
he
God.
he feels bad for the guy and lets him live.
Yeah.
and then this guy murders him slowly. Anyway, that's the
Nazis.
scene that
Great
reminded
movie.
me.
Feel good.
So I just rewatched it. It's actually wonderful. But I thought it was like that sort of thing was happening. But then my man takes both of his hands and stops him from putting the knife into him. So then he grabs it with his teeth and slides it in with his face.
in the throat. Did we
In the
say
it was in the throat. We
Oh.
didn't say
Yeah,
that.
so-
Very important.
So
Top
the
spot.
hand got
Yeah.
it, got it in position,
and
and then he had to get his mouth into.
Yeah.
It's
I
a-
thought he was gonna headbutt it in.
yeah.
And then he
Nope.
grabbed it with his teeth and still slowly pushed it,
It
in.
just-
and then
it-
pulled
He just wanted to
It
do it
was
slow.
so memorable
Yeah.
that I was
Yeah.
amazed that wasn't like how he killed the main bad guy. It was just a guy in an elevator.
Yeah.
but that kind of makes
Just
it even
riding an
cool.
elevator.
Yeah, it was the poor elevator guy.
So
He was like, "What floor?"
why? This,
Gabby, I'll
this
tell you
movie-
what for.
That knife.
Stab.
This movie is not like John Wick to me, despite some of the action homages, I guess.
Sure.
Because of the way it starts, the middle section, and that's basically it. The way it starts in the middle section, the parts that aren't just the revenge story, the idea of like his mom's telling him a story about Haruman, the monkey man, the monkey. king. Yeah, the white monkey.
They got glimpses of that.
Like
Yeah.
a legendary guy, or this is a real guy from the past?
No.
Oh,
So
okay.
it's
A
an
fairy
allegory.
tale,
Yeah, like
kinda.
the monkey
I got you.
king, like
Okay,
an
yeah.
allegory. But then it's brought back. So you guys missed the beginning, which is fine. Like you could still follow
Thanks.
the movie.
it just
You could still follow
That's
the
how
movie.
you feel.
But
It's
when
fine.
we get to the part where he's literally on an acid trip to find himself and he rips open his own chest,
Oh wait, I wanted to say something about that too.
that's from the story.
Okay, that
That's
makes a lot
like
more
he
sense
is
now.
going through the same steps and the same like journey as that allegory his mother taught him or like told him, before bed.
Do you see what happens to his mother in the beginning of the movie?
No.
Oh, okay, so
so
that
we're still
was
good.
that was the
Because
slow
on the
reveal.
way home from the movie, we were talking about it and going, "Oh, what we really like about it is that I don't know how much we missed in the beginning, but it felt like they were just releasing bits of information whenever he would." And also, I love that he would have panic attacks. I
Yes,
love that he
and
would.
they felt real.
He's like doing his reconnaissance.
Well, they were all sexual violence panic attacks.
we missed
right.
a lot.
Wow.
All of them were when
Yeah.
something was
Yes.
happening to a
Something was
woman.
happening.
Yeah,
to a
I
woman.
didn't
He,
catch
he
that.
witnessed his mother
Yep.
get
Yes.
violated and,
Oh
and
my
murdered.
God.
Yep.
But
I also
That
love
that
that.
I got. Yeah.
the
Can I say something about the
Yeah, man.
trippy scene? That was giving me vibes, and I know you two have seen this movie. I don't know if you've seen it. Mandy. Like
Oh,
when it gets like
yes.
really acid trippy for a
Yeah.
minute, I was like, ooh, I like this vibe. Like we're like acid trippy with
Yeah.
him right now. I really like that. That's all I want to say.
Yeah,
I
it-
know.
like from so
Mandy's very good.
the movie like when we talk about like film language and like
Yeah.
3-act structures, the movie is very clearly 3 acts.
Oh yeah.
So you've got like the first act ends with him getting shot off the roof and like falling in the water, and the second act is coming back to life and like being brought back to life. So the story at the beginning is an incredibly hungry monkey sees the best mango in the like high up in the sky and like flies up there to get it and he eats it. It ends up being the sun, and he is punished by the gods and sent back down to earth, loses his power, and he has to bring it back. So like when he gets nursed back to health from all of those women in the temple, you're literally seeing flashes of like the movie is so wildly on the nose, but it's still like paced pretty well that
Yeah.
it's not egregious. Yeah, that's pretty much it. I liked that it was like 2 tracks, but it still is a little heavy in the middle. Yeah.
So it was the white monkey you said?
Something like that, yeah.
So that's why he bleached the mask.
Yes.
No, I know.
Oh, okay, I
know.
thought I was like, why did he do that? like
no,
I was
knew
like,
that he
wait,
bleached it because it was the
why
white
did he
monkey.
bleach his white mask? Like he had
Yeah.
a regular monkey mask, and then he bleached it, and he wore it for like a
30
minute.
seconds. He
And
wears
I was like, why? What was the point of that? And
like
it makes
watching the
sense now.
trailer
missed
for this,
the
I was
white
like,
monkey part.
he puts on the mask and he wreaks vengeance on those that wronged him and his mother. But then
Hanuman.
he wears the monkey mask,
Hanuman.
walks up to the building where there are 2 people guarding it, and immediately takes it off.
It
and
was a
starts fighting.
sick shot.
can't fight
It was,
in a
good,
monkey
it was a good
mask.
one shot.
It was
was a
yeah,
sick
I
shot.
kind
well, he
of want
spends a lot of the movie fighting in a monkey mask.
He
Because
can put in a monkey mask.
That's the mask that he wears when he's like an underground
box.
It's like in a
boxer.
fight club.
Him taking a monkey, like he dyes it white and then he takes it off, is him attaining spiritual
Yes.
awareness.
Yeah.
Right.
Yes.
I didn't even see the movie.
But see, the thing about it was like he's
You're
got
getting
it
it
for
better
one
than I
really
did.
cool shot, and I did at the time. I was like, at the moment, I was just like, keep it on for a while because it's so dope.
Yeah.
But then I'm like, motherfucker did all this work to learn the choreo and get in shape and fight.
Yeah.
Don't wear a mask.
Oh,
I would like to see this
I,
actor.
I get
know
that.
do this.
He wants
really
you to
good.
know it's him.
Yeah, it's actually
he's
him.
patelling all over the place.
He devved it up
Say no
hard.
more.
I'd do that too.
And
if it
every
was me.
patel.
I'd be like,
Yeah,
no, I
yeah.
want everything. Every patel.
It was. I think it was flawed, but it was like a really, really, really good first shot
Nice.
Oh yeah.
as a director. Like he hit a triple in field.
What has
Yeah.
he?
This is
what
not.
Is he known
That's
It's not a
for?
home run, but it was
Slumdog Millionaire.
infield triple.
What?
Slum-
Oh, was he the main guy?
Yeah. Maybe I want to
think
go
so.
rewatch. Yes.
I've
Yeah,
never
that was a
seen
really good
Slumdog.
movie.
He's
Oh,
also
so
in
good.
the live-action Avatar: The Last Airbender from
was
2010.
Zuko?
He was Zuko. Yeah.
I'd take whatever job too, from what I hear. I never saw that movie, but I heard it's not good. So is this Monkey King story? This is a real
Yeah, I looked it
existing
up.
story.
Mm-hmm.
Hindu epic texts, the legend of Hanuman. Yeah, the monkey god as a young child when he saw a shining golden sun and mistook it for a mango.
I like that title.
Yeah, this was totally worth seeing.
I was
Yeah.
pleasantly surprised by is it a monastery full of trans women?
Yeah. So did you? It was introduced via news broadcast.
Yeah.
In the movie.
They
Yeah.
just said it
Yeah.
in the background as
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah, I got
so,
that.
So the main evil villain plot is that a spiritual leader who is liked very well by the right wing party,
The conservative,
the conservative party in. Why am I blanking?
Indonesia?
What
No, they
country,
had, like,
what
a-
country is this in?
India?
Is it in India?
It was originally to be filmed in India, so it
Yeah.
would make sense that it was
yeah,
set
that
there.
makes sense.
Yeah.
Is actually stealing land. He's making all these claims that there's a religious right to specific lands, has the police and the military actually kick out and murder some of these people so he can build a giant complex. Those that decide to not want to get displaced or murdered will work to clear the lands and work for him or become his disciples. And those that do, it's all fucked up. This is what happened to his parents.
Yeah. That I got.
Where's I getting with this? Where's I going with
which
this?
is kind of like how the Crow started.
How the trans women were introduced.
Oh,
Trans women. yes.
in the news broadcast, it kind of tells you that there has been a lot of violence against
Yes.
trans people, and there is a temple that they are occupying because they were outsiders. And you learned that it was a specific temple too, of a
Yeah.
specific god that was of two genders of
Yes.
two, of
yeah.
chaos and order.
She explains that when he first comes to after they save him.
Yeah, so he
After the whole shaky cam.
he gets shot, all kinds of crazy shit, and all of these wonderful trans women and men save him, and he trains and finds his meaning in their monastery with him.
Is he like already a fighter, but now he's getting really
Yes.
Yeah.
good? Okay.
It's the difference between like raw
I like that.
talent and just honing it for a purpose.
Yeah.
That's what that part of the movie was
Cool.
getting at, not necessarily specific skill training.
Yeah, that's one of the things that I was just like, oh, he did a bunch more push-ups because like the montage that he has is like him holding buckets,
Sure.
him doing a body bag,
Uh-huh.
and now he's an he's an unkillable murderer.
Have you?
I've
ever
been
tried
doing that
those
workout
things?
routine and it's
No.
been working great for me.
Yeah.
See?
Oh shoot.
Alice,
Yeah.
Alice
Guns.
Guns over here.
So I got these.
And you bought a monkey mask?
She's
Yeah.
been punching rice to drum
I've been
beats
punching
for
rice.
weeks now.
Noel's been playing the drums for me.
Yeah,
That's how he
nice.
knows.
He's doing it. It's amazing. Yeah, it was a really fun subplot, and they do introduce the fact that she talks like the spiritual leader in the movie, or his spiritual leader in the movie, this trans priestess. She talks about how their people used to be warriors and puts him on an acid trip. And,
I
Remember
forgot.
where you come from. That's where it
and
makes
he
sense
leaves a
now.
note in the whole nine. Yeah.
I don't know if I nodded off for a minute, but like I forgot that they were warrior women.
yeah.
And so when he sees the note, remember who you were.
He leaves it for them after he goes back to the underground fight club and he wins a bunch and puts a bunch of money on himself and
Yeah, so
gives
they-
them all the money.
so they
This is
can
after his crazy
live
training, so
somewhere.
it's really good
Yeah.
now. And yeah.
And then
he
like,
leaves
what
them
does
a
that
note,
mean?
remember
who you were.
Because
Like,
she
warrior.
says it to him also.
yes.
Yeah.
Like, I got that it was a reference back, but
yeah.
I was like,
were
now
they?
it clicks.
Warriors apparently.
Yeah, and that's
And
what
why
we
did
were
they not
thinking. We're like,
remember?
what were they?
And they show up in the third act and rip some throats out.
Oh, it was
Yeah.
so
Wonderful.
good.
very violent.
Like in Roadhouse, like you talked about last week.
Like in the original Roadhouse.
Oh, he doesn't
Not
rip
it.
any throats in the new one?
There are no throats ripped in the new
Do they
Roadhouse.
just fall out?
Sounds woke.
It is woke house.
Yeah, woke out.
Road woke. Yeah.
But yeah, this was a blast. I kind of want to see it again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I need to
sounds-
see the beginning.
The whole thing?
Yeah.
this time?
Honestly.
You see the
I'm
beginning?
going to go and just
Yeah.
watch the first 10 minutes and leave.
Cool. I did that with what was it? 12 Monkeys.
The little vampire. No.
We It was Vampire's Kiss.
With Richard E. Grant.
Movie.
The little vampire kiss? What?
Yeah, the little vampires, just little kisses.
Is it like a little,
Is it a little vampire
little
giving
vampire kissing you, right? Just like a little guy. Little
Little
guy.
mouse-sized vampire.
And little pecks.
Yeah.
Adorable.
Mouse-sized vampire
It's the
effect.
sequel. It's called
Oh, I
The
love it.
Littlest.
The littlest vampire kiss.
So we're making this movie.
They're all
Yeah.
Richard E. Grant.
Pocket vampire.
just kissing himself.
What?
What was that talking about?
I don't know.
Oh,
You left 12 Monkeys?
Oh, you
No.
movie.
You know what? Now that I'm telling it, no, it's one of my favorite movies.
It's a
so
wonderful
good.
movie.
We were watching another movie in the first stadium seating theater I'd ever been in. And,
Which aught year was this? Was it like 94?
oh, yeah, this was in the 1990s.
The 19th century.
The 20th century.
20th century.
Yeah.
19th century.
Oh,
Yeah.
no, that's something that
My
like,
first
the kids are
kinescope
doing
was
now.
in the
Like,
80s.
What was it like in the 1900s?
Yeah.
Yeah. Sorry.
Yeah, it was like this. Stadium seating.
Yeah.
And we, it was in San Diego, and my mind was blown by this theater, and we saw Jumanji, and then at the end of it, we're like, let's go see the end of 12 Monkeys again.
Oh,
I want to see
nice.
what's happening now,
Nice.
now that I remember the story. Yeah.
Last week on Saturday Night Live, Kristen Wiig was the host.
Oh, yeah.
And there was a Jumanji sketch, and it was amazing.
I saw the Jumanji sketch. It was very. Weren't they trying to play
Absolutely.
Ticket to Ride or something?
They were just playing
Yeah.
a board game, and she refuses.
Like, you're trying to Jumanji me.
The concept is that she does not play board games to prevent being Jumanji'd.
That's a good idea.
It's a good way to
goes
go
from
about
there.
it.
Yeah.
Cute.
Very good.
Hey, Dylan.
Dylon.
You seemed
Hey.
excited about this movie. Have you seen it? Are you planning to see it?
I definitely plan to see it.
Oh,
Yeah.
you
And-
ruined it.
No. It's still like,
Unruinable.
yeah. Well, no, it's still like there's still. I mean, a lot that I want to know and see about the movie. Like I feel like I just know very little bit about it.
Yeah, I don't feel as though I
Yeah,
had too much.
you guys didn't go too hard on the spoilers.
No,
you weren't
just
like,
like-
all right, plot point A, plot point B, plot point C.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
And like is similar to this ancient and often retold tale.
Yeah.
There's nothing wildly original about this
Right.
movie. It's just done very well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
anything
Also, with
that-
the John Wick comparison, there is a puppy.
Oh.
Yep. There's a puppy.
There's a puppy that.
Oh, the puppy doesn't die.
Puppy's okay.
You're
that's
all
good.
right.
I mean, we don't.
Puppy's okay.
The puppy doesn't die on screen.
That's true.
We don't.
true.
As
That's true.
far as
We
I know,
don't
the puppy's fine.
Yeah.
You just don't know.
He dies of
But when
old
they
age
flash
off
forward to
screen.
30 years later, you got to assume.
He's
That
an immortal puppy. You
that
didn't let
puppy-
me
That's
finish.
awesome, like the Monkey King.
That
Monkey
puppy
King's puppy.
He becomes a little vampire and he lives forever.
Puppy vampires. What are we talking about next week, JD?
Oh, is it the show
Fallout
that
Boy?
drops? Fallout? Not
Fallout.
Fallout Boy.
From Millhouse.
I saw them in concert like 2 weeks ago.
Oh,
They
yeah,
were
boy?
great.
Me too.
That's cool.
In Albany?
Madison Square Garden.
Oh, okay.
you
It's
see
not
each
in
other?
Albany. I was like, we're in the same place.
Huh?
I wondered if you saw each other from the different
It's a wonderful
shows.
show. Did he do the Spidey and His Amazing Friends?
No, he didn't do
Oh,
that for
that's
us.
fun.
He did it.
I was hoping. I
awesome.
heard that
Yeah.
he did that. I was hoping he did it, but no, he didn't.
So yeah, next week we're going to be talking about Fallout, the TV show that drops, I guess, tonight, right?
Yeah, it drops tonight. It's actually probably live right now.
10/9 Central.
I have
Yeah,
no experience with Fallout.
Never played it.
No, me
I never
either.
played it.
Like many
think
video
Toast
games,
has
I've
played
often
it.
been like, that story looks cool, but
Yeah.
That's
don't
why
wanna- it's a
I
video
always
game I wanna
watched
play.
my brother play video games.
that's cool.
Yeah, the story.
Or he
Yeah.
like I'd watch playthroughs, and then he gave me his
Yeah.
Xbox 360 way back in the day, and was like, "Here's all the Batman Arkham games. You're gonna love them."
Ooh.
I'm so bad at them. I can't get through the
Oh.
story,
There's-
so I just had to watch him play them like eventually.
there's
and-
there's all kinds of cutscene clips on YouTube. Where you
oh,
can
I've
go
watched
just, like,
playthroughs
edited
fully on
into a
YouTube.
movie.
Like
Oh,
I know
no.
everything that happens
Fuck
in the games.
playthroughs, just the cutscenes edited
The cutscenes
together.
are great.
It's just a movie.
I always felt like in those games where you're like you're Batman or you're Spider-Man and you just cannot get past the first level and you're like, Spider-Man is not this bad at being
I'm
Spider-Man.
so
Batman
bad.
is really good at
I
it.
play easy. I play easy, and the goons like can't even see me. They're like, where is he? And like I'm sitting right in front of him, and they still kill me. And,
The
like,
NPC dialogue.
Yeah.
When the NPC
I can't see
dialogue's
him
on
anywhere.
point.
We're like this close to him. I'm like, I'm so bad at hiding. I'm terrible.
Do you feel like at that point your character's being gaslit?
A little bit. A little bit.
Oh no!
Oh, I can't see him.
I don't know where he is.
I hope he doesn't
Scary
break
Batman.
my arm.
Well, thank you so much for hanging out with us. Join us next week when we talk about Fallout. But then also you can, on iTunes and YouTube, starting tomorrow morning, we're going to have the next episode of Fresh Floppies.
Nice.
Where we talk about spoiler-free reviews of the comic books that are on shelves
That's cool.
Right now.
No, that shirt. So we got Godzilla and Kong, and at the top it says "One will fall," and I've been picturing like one man falling out of one of the buildings in the back.
Oh no!
Throughout the course of the movie, both of them fell a lot.
I was gonna say,
So 1+ fell.
yeah.
Okay.
Both of them.
A
Both
lot
of
of
them.
falling.
There was a lot of like big banana peels the whole movie.
I understand. That's pretty fun.
Thank you so much for hanging out with us, and we'll talk at you later.
Do do do.
We did it.